We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next. Welcome back to the Daily Helpline. We've got clinical psychologist Dr. Judy with us again today, and we are taking on some tough questions. Now, our next guests are holding more than a full house. They've got 9 children, yes, 9, and one is really struggling for a very unique reason. Take a look.
My name is Shadorn. This is my husband Jeffrey, and we have 9 children. We have 1 biological son, Jeffrey Jr., and 8 adopted children. Initially, it was really hard for us to get pregnant, so we tried some fertility methods, and then we were blessed with Jeffrey. Jeffrey is different from the other kids. He's very nurturing. The challenge that Jeffrey faces that the other kids do not. He would like to have a sibling of his own that grew in my stomach and in my heart, whereas he knows that the other children just grew in my heart.
Shradon and Jeffrey, thank you guys so much for being here and sharing your story. Now, looking at that, I mean, there is a lot that's going on here.
Absolutely.
So tell us specifically, what can we do to help?
Just kind of guide us in the fact to make Jeffrey feel special, because it's really important. You would think that it would be the other way around, but it's really important for us to make him feel equal, because he struggles with the fact that the rest of our children have that genetic connection and he does not.
So why does he feel unspecial? I get the genetic connection, but more so I'm asking, what is the message that's happening in the house that makes him say, they're special, I'm not special?
Because we allow their biological parents to be involved, so Jeffrey sees that they have 2 mommies, 2 daddies, and he's like, well, I only have 1 mommy and 1 daddy, and they have the 2. So Jeffrey is kind of like, well, they have 2 mommies, 2 daddies, and we thought we overcome that with Jeffrey having godparents. And I explained to them that his godparents are his second set of parents, and Jeffrey's really smart, so he kind of knows, nah, not so much.
It's like, it's not the same. He's like, wait a minute, they have lots of mommies and daddies, and I only got one. Something's wrong here.
Right.
So, I mean, and although we think it's cute because, you know, 6 years old, and that's very sweet that he sees a blended family in a very unique, special way, how is all this affecting you?
I would love to have for him to have another sibling so that he could say, well, this is mine, and it's something that will make him feel like it's special or whatever. I would love that, but can I afford it? Dear God, no.
Okay, so are you guys actually considering, I mean, if the finances weren't an option, are you actually considering having another baby?
We would.
Well, yeah,
So, but would it be because you want another child, or would it be specifically because your 6-year-old says, I want you to have another baby?
Because we would want
That's not what I
another
heard him
child.
say.
No, I would love for my wife. I'd love seeing my wife pregnant.
I know you, but I get that. But I heard you say if I could get Jeffrey another, then that
That
might
he
make
could
this.
have,
That might
that's
fix this
mine.
problem.
Well, yeah. I mean, 9 children, and she's 10 would just round it off, but.
So what can we do now to help Jeffrey work this out without introducing another child? Because that's the easiest way and the cheapest way, right? So let's work on some of those.
Okay.
What have you guys done to try to reassure him that he is loved just as much as your other 8 children? What have you guys done?
We, like, when I see maybe he's acting out, he has Mommy and Me Day or Mommy and Daddy Day, where we're all doing something collectively with just Jeffrey. And then there are times when maybe he gets out of school early and we'll spend the day doing that. At night before bed, he and I, or he and his dad will read. He does get a lot of me time.
Okay.
So it's not that he doesn't feel special. I just feel like he wants to have a sibling.
Can I chime in here? Because, Mom, you said something that just made me laugh. It tickled me. And I can relate to this because I have a blended family myself. I have 4 biological children and a stepdaughter that's smack dab in the middle. And one of the things that I know about children is, oh, they know how to manipulate. They are master manipulators. They're good, especially at the heartstrings of the mommies.
Right.
And what I heard you say was, when he acts out, he gets special time. And so if he has some way figured out what is your button and your button
And he has.
to get what he wants, then he can constantly, every time I bring this up and every time I make an issue to look like I'm not getting what I want and I'm hurting, I get special attention. And I just want you to just sit with it. And then the other piece of this that I want you to be aware of is that you cannot make a permanent decision based upon a temporary situation.
Right.
At the end of the day, Jeffrey is 6 years old, and you are the parents. He does not understand about the ways of the world and about all the intricacies that happen. And if you base your life on his temporary 6-year-old understanding, he will have moved on and done his own thing, and you will be left holding the bag here.
Because love is really made up of 3 unconditional properties in equal measure, and that's appreciation, understanding, and acceptance.
Right.
And if you can do those 3 on a daily basis, but the thing is if you take one away, often the other 2 will follow. And so if you could just write those down somewhere, and every night you guys check in. How did we show up today for our kids? How did we show up today with Jeffrey? Did we hit the mark on all 3 of these? And you're not going to do it perfectly, but when you don't, just readjust and know that tomorrow will show up differently.
That's it. That's it. Thank you guys so much for sharing your story. This is a great story. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Love them. Keep loving them and each other, okay? We thank Shadon and Jeffrey for being here, and we also thank you. We've got lots more coming up right after this, so stick around. Coming up.
Now, I don't want to make him a mama's boy, but I would prefer to still pick him up from school every day.
We live in crazy times, blah, 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 blah. We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.